someone said in here, what about Neymar? And what about Neymar?
2.5 million
Does he
a
go
week?
down as the biggest waster of the 21st century in football?
21st century. I like the way you.
Yeah, well, not just the
there.
last decade. Even before he really got
How are you
past.
defining waster?
Well,
All the talent in the world, never fulfilled it. But then again, he won the treble with Barcelona in 2015 along with Suarez and Messi up front, and he was very prominent in that. He's the catalyst to one of the great Champions League comebacks. Do you remember that night in 2017? And for about 2 or 3 seasons, this guy was quite remarkable. Also, much maligned at Paris Saint-Germain the 6 years he was there, understandably. But in 2020, they got to the Champions League final and lost by the odd goal to Bayern. And on that run, Neymar was extraordinary.
yeah, look, I think if you think back to the World Cup, Neymar has this incredible moment in the game, and then they go out in the same game, and it's one of those like, this is his legacy goal. This is the bit where he drags the team through. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't
Croatia.
Was it the Croatia game?
Yeah, last winter.
Lost on penalties then, yeah.
Yeah, he got an amazing individual goal against
Yeah.
Croatia. Yeah.
And I think that's really the bit where he did thrill at various stages, and he made a very good living for himself. And so, but a lot of players are incapable of being the number one and carrying the weight of everything the whole time.
I think we're all on the outside looking in here, like psychology 101 here, but I think he actually did enjoy the weight of it, but it didn't come around enough. I don't think he had the main stage enough. He was probably bored in France a lot of the time.
I'm sure, but
And I think with Barcelona, he had to share the limelight with one of the very, very few players who are more famous than him.
it should make you even better, though. Like,
I don't think so. If you're playing Lorient on a wet Wednesday night.
No, but being with Messi.
Oh yeah, well it did for a while, but then you think about it, that's 6 years ago he left. He was a young fella, really, and he was still described as having all the potential in the world to become a great. And he made, I think, what was a pretty brave and commendable decision at the time to leave that Barcelona side and set up his own dynasty at Paris Saint-Germain, which did not work out
for a world record fee that made him like a gazillionaire.
And I think he was completely indulged.
Multi-generational wealth.
Yeah, I mean, indulged beyond repair.
Well, in the same way that they've just repeated the trick with Kylian Mbappe, who now has like multi-generational wealth that means his great grandkids are going to be as rich as the Rockefellers. It was all right. I think it all worked out for them.
Do you think he's number one on the list of biggest wasters?
Yeah, I mean, that's a list I would love to.
Well,
to
quickly, give me other candidates.
I think about it now, but I mean, in the 21st century, it's hard. It's hard because, do you know why I think it's harder these days? I think if you're not fulfilling your potential nowadays, it's way more ruthless, and you are gone. Like, gone are the days of the number 10 being indulged. I'm obviously thinking of a guy that we talked about last week in Paul Gascoigne, who I know was an 8, but his behaviour off the pitch, like, there's no way he'd be playing. There's just no way he'd be playing elite level football. Paul Merson's the same. There's just no chance. In the modern game, I think if you're off the pace, you're gone.
They would have diagnosed the issues a little bit earlier, and they would have dealt with them, and we would, maybe you would never have heard of them.
Hatton Ben Arfa.
Yeah, the names like that come up. Jack Wilshere, Michael Richards.
Wilshere was more injuries though, wasn't he? I mean, I find it very difficult to blame someone who's ruined by injuries when it comes to being a waste of talent. That's out of your control.
Balotelli. Alexander Pato.
I think Balotelli had a limited level of talent. I don't think he was as great as people remember.